So, literal physical reincarnation of Jesus Christ in the flesh manifest himself. Which, yes, I'm still sticking to that. You ain't gonna get me to drop it anytime soon. I don't care how much you bitch and moan. Alright? That all happened when I started meditating and started, waking up to who I was as a person and reconnecting with, Christ consciousness. And wouldn't you know, go figure, when I did it, it was right around the time when it was prophesized that the second coming of Jesus Christ would happen. But here's the funny thing about that. I didn't just immediately jump straight to, oh my God, I'm the second coming of Jesus Christ. No. I started connecting with multiple other past lives. I was starting to think like Metatron, because whenever I close my eyes, I got this little thing right in front of my eyes that looks like the Metatron symbol, right? And I used to see that all the time when I was a little kid. Like when you stare at the sun for too long. So I was like, Metatron, that's interesting. Why does that sound familiar? And it turns out when you have that feeling, that's actually you kind of connecting to the Akashic records of you being like, oh, that resonates. That's part of your past lives. So, and it's funny because I remember having a fight with my dad, and I was like, I could be the literal second coming of Jesus Christ and you still wouldn't fucking listen to me. And then that kind of resonated. That kind of sat with me for a little bit, and I was like, isn't it funny that I thought I could be the literal second coming of Jesus Christ? And also, as a person who is really all about these little like drink enhancers where I turn my water into juice, kind of like how Jesus turned water into wine. And my name is Trevor Shepherd. And Jesus very often says, I am the shepherd. And a shepherd herds sheep, right? Herds the flock of sheep so that way they don't get attacked by the wolves. And what have I done all my life? Try to look out for people. And there's proof of that all throughout my life. I'm not just some dude who is just like, I want to take all the credit for all this. No, I lived exactly like Jesus would have lived if he were to come back in this real life. Now let's actually stop and think about that for a second. Is Jesus dumb? No, he's very intelligent. Is Jesus easily able to be manipulated? No, he's very resilient. I've had my entire life multiple people, multiple experiences of any time I started finding peace or happiness in my life, something would come along and fucking ruin it. Every goddamn time. And isn't it interesting that I said God exactly when it said 3:33 in this fucking rant? How the fuck do I time that shit? Life is in patterns. Okay? And what does Jesus do? Shine a light in the darkness, a reflection of the dark back to them. He is the light that leads the way and pushes away the dark. And what does that mean? What is all that shit? What are you doing when you're fighting demons? Are you getting into an actual literal fist fight with some red-skinned horned creature? Or are you fighting your inner thoughts, your darker inner thoughts? And then in psychology, we have Carl Jung come out with shadow integration. And what happens when you integrate your shadow, when you heal your traumas? You no longer become bothered by the shit that was bothering you. And why is that so important? Oh, people that are horrifically traumatized need to go through that in order to find inner peace. Awesome. What is inner peace? Living free, doing whatever the hell you want. Isn't that what the American dream was supposed to be all about? Freedom? And yet, everywhere we look, everywhere we go, they're just trying to pass more and more laws. And who are the people trying to pass the laws? The people on the Epstein files? We're still letting these motherfuckers tell us what to do? Oh, I'm not supposed to cuss? Why? Because it's bad? Because people say it's wrong to cuss? It says in the Bible it's wrong to cuss. It says in the Bible, it says in the Bible. In the Bible it says in the Bible. How about you stop just reading the fucking Bible and actually get a fucking brain and think for your fucking self? You think Jesus would be like, it says in the Bible? Or do you think Jesus would be like, hey, I stopped and thought about things, and I think this shit's fucking stupid. And smokes weed. Not all the time, but every once in a while, because it's fun. And you feel good. And you start getting philosophical and deep thinking. And you start having random thoughts. And isn't it interesting and ironic that right around in the 60s, that is when the hippie movement happened. Oh, those dirty hippies, those dirty weed smoking hippies. What's wrong with fucking chilling and smoking weed? Oh, it used to be illegal. Remember when those hippies came out and they made weed illegal? And then the only people that were smoking weed were the rebels, the people that were like, we're not going to listen to the man. Don't you think Jesus would also be a rebel against the system? Jesus isn't a follower, Jesus is a leader, but he leads by example. So what do you think happened in those 60s during the hippie movement? Oh, the government came in. The government. Oh, the same people that are in the Epstein files. All the presidents that have a similar ancestor. On their mother's side. That's very important. Because my grandma, according to the family I was raised by, my grandma is full-blooded Japanese. So that makes me 1/4 Japanese. And my grandma is from Nagasaki. One of the places that was hit by fucking an atom bomb. I don't know where I'm going with all this. I'm high. But anyways, I'm just trying to talk about how many fucking synchronicities are in my life with how many things connect with so many major fucking events in history and in the universe. Like, I'm not just some random guy who's trying to claim the title, because it's not just that my last name is Shepherd, because my first name, do it backwards, because what is God? And dog is God spelled backwards. And what are dogs? Just absolutely happy-go-lucky free spirits. Doesn't that sound like what you expect Jesus to sound like and be like? A happy-go-lucky free spirit that's just like... But not only... I'm getting on the point of dog and God. My first name, also correlating, is Trevor. What's Trevor backwards? Rovert. Rover, which is obviously a dog name, and T. Christ T, the crucifix, T. How is it so coincidental that my first name references a dog and the letter T? And dog spelled backwards is God. And Rover is a dog's name. And my last name is Shepherd. And Jesus very often said he is the shepherd. And my birthday, March 14th, 1993, which means I'm 33, right around the same time Jesus is supposed to come back. And I just recently turned 33 on March 14th, 314, Pi Day. Pi, a fundamental mathematical figure to figure out the area or the circumference of a circle, in which a circle is one of the most complex figures in geometry, because it's not just a polygon, it doesn't have one single side. It's curved, it's circular. It's what happens when, oh, what if instead of just having a straight line, the line bent? As in, like, it bent the rules of reality. It was no longer linear. It changed direction. Doesn't that sound exactly like what Jesus did when he tried to get people to be like, stop doing all this Old Testament shit. Stop with the fucking blood sacrifices. Stop with the fucking selling all this shit and doing all this shit in the church. Jesus was a rebel. Jesus bent the rules. God bends the rules. God bends reality. God is everything connected, like a circle. How many motherfucking synchronicities with my fucking life have to be there before people finally realize, hey, maybe the universe is actually literally syncing up with this guy? What's up with that? What's up with that? My favorite band of all time is Korn. And before that, there's a funny story where they almost named their band Larry. I had a pet corn snake. It was gifted to me by my friend James. Now, isn't that another biblical name? And my pet corn snake's name was Larry. Corn snake Larry. Well, that's funny. That's interesting. Where are you going with all this? It's just that Korn was my favorite band because a lot of their music I deeply resonated with, being horrifically traumatized and abused. And a lot of their music really helped me. And isn't it interesting that a lot of their album names and album covers also fit along with, you know, ironically, psychology, you know, and spirituality of like, look in the mirror, see you on the other side. Where'd all that shit come up from? The Untouchables, a bunch of bullied and beaten and abused children. When you start connecting the dots and connecting the patterns, it starts to become absolutely undeniable. I don't give a flying fucking shit if I don't look like what you think your version of Jesus Christ looks like, okay? Reincarnation is real. You can come back as a big fat fucking black lady, okay? It doesn't matter. The face doesn't matter. It's close enough, okay? I've had issues with being fucking tortured and beaten and fucking starved, so I've had to heal from so many different traumas. Isn't it interesting that I not only have all these fucking signs and synchronicities, I've also had to heal from damn near every fucking kind of trauma known to fucking man. And I've also done that. I've been in a mental health hospital for a week from the abuse and trauma I endured. From someone who was my best friend, who was introduced to me by my dad. who was also horribly abusive. And then yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Horrible, terrible things, awful things happened. Christmas Day, 2016. I have this scar on my eyebrow from when I was supposed to be having a fun, happy Christmas dinner with my friend and all their family. He started just getting absolutely wildly crazy and starts horrifically abusing me right in front of everyone on Christmas Day. Supposedly the birthday of Jesus, the day of St. Nicholas. Now, why would someone be so hell-bent on trying to take me down? Why would someone go so far as to horrifically abuse me in front of a group of people on Christmas? Unless I was fighting the devil. Because what kind of fucked up shit is that? So how is it that I have all these signs and synchronicities and I've fought so many fucking abuses and traumas and gone through so many personal hells? And which ironically also is exactly what Jesus was trying to teach in Gnosticism, not the fucking Bible. Early Christianity was Gnosticism, okay? So the universe is in numbers and in patterns. And angel numbers are like 333 to let you know that you're in sync. All right? And isn't it funny that the church, the Bible, is all kind of trying to say the number of the devil is 666. Oh, well, in these spiritual texts and in Gnosticism and all these other people talking about Christ consciousness, they're like, no, that's actually just a number of synchronicity of when you're in your divine timing. It's when everything starts lining up for you. It's when you are no longer in chaos, when you're living peacefully, like a dirty weed smoking hippie. Isn't it ironic that the church every time has a problem with someone or something? It's also ironically exactly what we would imagine possibly Jesus might get into if he experienced it in that time. Gee, the peace and love movement? Oh, Jesus would absolutely hate that. A bunch of dirty weed-smoking hippies out living life, being free? Jesus wasn't about that. Pay attention to what the church always tries to demonize. They're trying to control you. The church is the antichrist. Your personal freedom and Christ consciousness. That is the way, okay? I'm coming out as, with all these signs and synchronicities, also saying, yeah, get into fucking Christ consciousness. What is it? It's what happens when you fucking do the inner work, heal your shadow, and fucking get to a point of, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, and live a life peacefully, unfuckwithable. Right? And yeah, they're going to look at me in my fucking red and fucking black robe and be like, oh, that's the Antichrist, that's the Antichrist, that's the Antichrist. Do I seem like the Antichrist to you? Or do I seem like a pretty fucking chill dude? Who just so happened to have a lot of signs and synchronicities with his name and his life and his timing. And so many events in his life being extremely fucked up, but still somehow being a pretty chill guy. My blood type is AB positive. The blood type on the Shroud of Turin, AB. 6% of the population. AB positive, positive or negative, positive 3%. 3. Now, there's a lot of personality there's a handful of personalities out there. Now, if we were to stop and think, what kind of personality type do you think Jesus would have? He'd probably be an INFJ. Oh, isn't that interesting? I have an INFJ personality, and I've tested multiple times. What percent of the population has INFJ? 3%. How old am I? 33. When was I born? Pi Day. What is pi? It's how you measure the diameter of a circle. I was horrifically abused and beaten on Christmas. I posted on Easter Sunday coming out that I finally come to recognition that, yeah, it is me. I am the second coming of Christ himself in the flesh. And I posted that on Easter Sunday on my other phone because that phone has Facebook, and I posted on Facebook. But here's the thing, I don't have internet, so I had to go to the library. The library's closed. I didn't even fucking know that. But I posted it on Sunday. And that's supposed to be the day that it was like, he is risen. Just because I just got some inkling, some random fucking thought in my head, you should do it. Does that sound like someone who's getting advice from God? God is love, light, happiness, peace, joy, laughter, and creativity. So what do you think happens when all these people suddenly get a random idea to do something, and then it becomes wildly popular, wildly successful? Will you guys chill out? Why is it that whenever I'm around people, and I'm just trying to be a chill dude, something always goes wrong? Almost like the entire universe is conspiring to go against me. Well, in a way, it actually kind of is. Like, there's too many times I've had just a bad fucking time, and I'm just trying to fucking live my life as a chill dude. Fuck's up with that? Right? I have struggled to have a job all my life. Anytime I get a job, it immediately gets shut down. I immediately start having problems with someone who I'm working with every single time. And why is it? Every single time, because I'm experiencing narcissistic abuse, which I have proof of this. All documented. Crab Kings. Silence Hawkins. Oh yeah, I'm gonna out you fucking publicly by name, bitch. For fucking with me. I got it all fucking documented and proof that you were intentionally trying to psychologically abuse me by honey trapping me. Pretending to be interested and care about me while also simultaneously being just coy and distant enough to keep me constantly chasing, but also making me feel like shit at the same time. Why is it that everyone in my life, the person who abused me, my friend, Jamie James Lee Dunkley, full legal name, motherfucker, guy who is supposedly my father, Greg Shepard. How is it that all these people all have narcissistically abused me? How is it that all these people have been very close in my life? How is it that all these people have fucking met each other? Almost as if they're a fucking group. Almost as if they're all fucking conspiring. Oh, and in the day and age with the fucking Epstein files, we're going to start saying, oh, these people are crazy for speaking out now? Absolutely not. The truth is coming out. All right? The Freemasons, which, hey, guess what? By the way, my dad took me to a Freemasons lodge when I was younger. So isn't it interesting? Isn't it ironic that all that shit started going downhill when I experienced that? But when did I do that? It was about in 2012. 2012, isn't that the year that the world was supposed to end? Once again, how is it that I experienced something that is directly connected to something that's a pretty serious fucking thing in the world? Because the Freemasons, well, their whole point is that they're the ones that built America. They're the secret group that built America. Yeah, they're also part of the fucking Epstein files. They're the part of the group of people that fucking kidnap and horrifically abuse and rape and torture and murder and fucking drink the blood, the adrenochrome, and beat and murder and fucking kill innocent children and eat their fucking flesh because they themselves do not have what it is that makes an enlightened person enlightened. That inner light, which, by the way, they can see. All right? Because every time I start getting in a really good fucking mood, some random fucking person, like I'm in a fucking Truman Show, legitimately, it's fucking wild. It's like everyone around me is a fucking paid actor. It's fucking crazy. But I'm not out here like, oh my God, they're out to get me. I'm just chilling. After experiencing horrific abuse, I'm just chilling. Almost as if I healed. Healing. Once again, how is it that I am so incredibly good at healing psychological trauma? How is it I am so incredibly good at pattern recognition? How is it I am so incredibly good at being a good guy? I have all these kinds of text messages of people trying to start shit with me. And every single time I'm like, what is your problem, man? Why can't we just be chill? Why are people so actively aggressive against me? Unless my mere presence pisses off their demons. Again. And I bet the church is going to try to label me the Antichrist. No, the church is the Antichrist. The Freemasons are the Antichrist. The Eastern Stars are the Antichrist. What do you think those fucking Jewish tunnels are? All right? They are all fucking using blood sacrifices to try to worship Moloch and Baal and all that bullshit. Right? And isn't it ironic and perfect fucking timing that all that shit comes out right around the prophesied second coming of Jesus Christ? And isn't it fucking ironic and perfect timing that I have so many signs and synchronicities in my own life? I mean, how many more goddamn fucking patterns do you motherfuckers need to find and be like, maybe it's actually this guy. It might actually legitimately be him. He's got a few good points. Maybe. All I'm saying is think for your fucking selves. Stop letting people tell you what to fucking do. And I'm telling you to do that. But seriously, stop letting people tell you what to do. Free yourself, free your mind. The rest will follow. Become enlightened. You don't have to go the full way. You don't got to be a full fucking yogi. But the harder life tests you. Don't forget to just follow your heart and just live life and focus on happiness, because that is your God-given right. Right? It's your God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, how's When's the last time you heard that? Isn't it funny that they stopped talking about that in schools and all that stuff? Right? After history class, they stopped talking about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. After in those schools, they taught us the three branches of government. The legislative, the executive, the fucking judicial branch. They made up their own fucking rules, and those rules are trying to cover up the rules of God. Which the rules of God were, don't fuck with other people. Live peacefully? Oh, God forbid. Oh, do not covet thy neighbor's oxen. What's that about? Envy. Envy, one of the 7 deadly sins. What is envy? People that are so fucking panties in a fucking twist that they don't have something better than someone else because they have such a competitive mindset of, I gotta win, I gotta win. Why is that one person winning instead of me? Why do I have to have less? Why do they have more? Why does it fucking matter? Why are you so fucking hell-bent on being a fucking Karen? What is with this fucking whole Karen wave mindset bullshit? Why are there so many fucking Karens? Why are there so many people that are so easily fucking triggered at the simplest, stupidest fucking shit? And I cussed right as it when it was 31:33. I'm in perfect fucking timing. And isn't it ironic? I said shit right when it was 31:33. And you know what's funny is I grew up as a plumber. Son of a plumber. Now, Jesus Christ, he grew up the son of a carpenter. And what does the second coming of Jesus Christ do? Supposed to clear out all the demons. And what was Jesus Christ all about? Establishing the foundation. Carpenter. How many more fucking signs and synchronicities that I grew up as the son of a plumber because the second coming of Christ is to flush all this shit out, right? To use the waters to clear all the shit out. And how ironic is it that I grew up the son of a fucking plumber? And my name's Shepherd. And my first name is a dog name plus T, and dog is God spelled backwards. How many motherfucking coincidences before it starts to line up? Maybe I might actually literally be the center of the fucking universe. I don't know. Why is it that every time I start to get friends, they either turn horrifically abusive or fall away from me? I got a lot of people I have as friends, but I'm not a whole lot of friends with a lot of people. I always end up having problems with people. But yet I'm just a chill dude. Anyways. It really is me, guys. Alright? It really, really, really is me. Okay? And it took me some time to get used to it myself. But, you know, but with reincarnation and multiple lives and all that stuff, it gets pretty fucking complex and complicated, but all I can say is just fucking break free from all the people trying to tell you what you can and can't fucking do. And you did it. You broke free of the fucking Matrix. All right? Just like, you know, the Truman Show. And isn't it ironic and interesting that Jim Carrey was the actor in the Truman Show? And Jim Carrey is one of my favorite fucking actors. Oh, and they took him out. Oh, and he became one of the most enlightened people in Hollywood who actually legitimately became enlightened. And how is it that if you knew me whenever I'm in a good mood, I'm basically just fucking Ace Ventura, just la 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 la, acting like a fucking crazy person. Being a free spirit. How many times, how many ways, how many fucking synchronicities? How many? I can keep fucking going. All right? The whole fucking universe is basically a gigantic Rube Goldberg machine all unfolding into itself and away from itself. Now, how do you imagine Jesus Christ himself would come out and try to explain stuff to a bunch of farmers, simple farmers that most couldn't even read, about wild esoteric spiritual concepts and psychology? And how is it ironic that the Freemasons also might have some roots to the Templars? And they're the ones that hid the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant. I could go on for fucking hours and hours about how many fucking things and signs and synchronicities. All right? Back to my favorite band, Korn. When did they come out? 93. What year was I born? 93. Who's my favorite DBZ character? Broly. When did that Broly movie come out? The first one, 93. What was his life story? Oh, he was a baby, and he was the legendary Super Saiyan. Oh, he was the special one. So, what happened? Well, King Vegeta was intimidated by his power and tried to stab him as a baby. Now, the whole story of Broly, if you actually stop and really think about it, it really connects a lot with the story of Jesus Christ as the persecuted one, as the one that was actually supposed to be special but then got horrifically traumatized from being stabbed and thrown away like fucking nothing. You know, kind of like they did to Jesus when they crucified him. But not only that, that also sounds very similar to, we've got in Marvel, Thor and Loki, Norse mythology, the story of Balder and Fimbulwinter and Ragnarok, in which Loki, the trickster god, convinces Hodor to shoot Balder, which Balder is supposed to be impervious to everything except mistletoe. So how is it so many signs and synchronicities that mistletoe is also the thing that you kiss under during Christmas? Kiss, love, Cupid. It all fucking lines up. It's all very scattered and broken apart like a fucking puzzle, but when you put all the puzzle pieces together, it starts to paint a fucking picture. And how the fuck am I the person that's connecting all these fucking dots if I don't got insanely fucking good pattern recognition? And I also have all these fucking synchronicities with my name and my birthday and the age I am when it's prophesized that Jesus comes back. And I made a post on Easter Sunday that I was coming back. So when the fuck does Jesus come back? I already came back. I came back when I came into recognition of who I was, through a spiritual awakening of enlightenment. All right? The king is back, and I want my motherfucking crown. Okay? But anyways, I just wanted to talk for a little bit. See you guys.